Is Hollywood against men?
What?
Because apparently it's a really bad thing that men aren't the hero of every single movie.
I'm just kidding. Anywhere else I'd be.
Personally, I think no, Hollywood isn't against men. But I also don't think the answer is that easy. This quote from The Departed kinda nails it.
Maybe. Maybe not. Maybe fuck yourself.
So let's start with the
Maybe.
The producers of And Just Like That want to repeat the success of Sex and the City at all costs, and therefore not only brought back Samantha for a cameo, but also had to shoehorn Carrie's ex-lover Aiden into the new season. But before that, they sentenced actor John Corbett to a diet, and they are proud of that. A producer recently told this in a podcast. We gave him a makeover, we cut his hair, and we told him he had to be rock hard when he came back. And for this statement, he got a lot of praise. The podcast host apparently said, "You might be among the few showrunners who actually clamped down on men to hit the gym and actually put a little pressure on their appearance, which most women would say tends to fall on female laps." Numerous comments agree with it, but I couldn't help but wonder.
What?
I mean, of course, since movies existed, actresses were told what to look like, mainly young and thin. And of course, that sucks. But it's also not new that Marvel heroes, for example, train like crazy to gain muscles at all costs, or even resort to medical help to achieve this so-called perfection. Last year, Avengers star Sebastian Stan told Entertainment Weekly about his completely broken relationship with his own body. He said looking like in the movie is only possible for about a week, at least without steroids. And then only with the right exercise, the right food, the right light, the right tanning, and so on. As soon as you start living normally again, this chiseled look is gone, and you mourn it because you look normal again. Magic Mike star Channing Tatum said something similar in Kelly Clarkson's talk show.
Oh God,
That's amazing.
No, don't put that up.
If I worked out and looked like that, I would put it up everywhere.
Trust me, that might be the reason why I didn't want to do a third one, is because I have to look like that.
So you don't work out regularly all the time?
No, but it's hard to look like, even if you do work out, to be that kind of in shape is not, it's not natural.
Do you have to eat like so well?
Yeah, you have to, that's not even healthy. You have to starve yourself.
Oh my God.
And why, when it takes like, I don't know, 2 months to get really lean, but in like 3 days you can lose it,
run it.
it's gone. I was like, what? What happened?
And Zac Efron is another prime example about men who suffer from these expectations and sexualization, just like women do. When he appeared in Baywatch, jaws hit the floor, just like his mental health. And yet he is constantly reduced to his looks.
I mean, they're just abs.
Yeah,
I
never
think
cared.
the best thing about Zach is that he's really kind.
He's kind.
He's so
and
kind.
He's funny.
He's
I
so
would love
kind.
if someone asked about Zach's personality.
Yeah, no one ever does.
Look, I'm not saying that men have it harder than women, but when actors like Pedro Pascal or Oscar Isaac are constantly called daddy by fans and the media, or Taylor Lautner gets insulted because he looks older.
Those comments are all from one single post. If this was 10 years ago, 5 years ago, maybe even 2-3 years ago, that really would have got under my skin, and it would have caused me to want to just go in a hole.
We still tend to not take it as seriously because they are men. And so when I heard what they said in this podcast about John Corbett and this diet, I was just thinking, who is happy about this? Who would be happy that men are treated like this just because women had to put up for it for a long time? Shouldn't we try to ensure that no one gets treated like this? So that's the maybe part. Yes, sometimes Hollywood is against men, just like it's against women. On to the next part.
Maybe not.
As I mentioned, the Barbie movie makes headlines because men only play second fiddle.
You're Ken.
But it's Barbie and Ken. There is no just Ken.
Or as Piers Morgan writes it, if I made a film that mocked women as useless fools, constantly attacked matriarchy, and portrayed everything feminist as toxic bullshit, I would be executed. But that's exactly what movies have been doing to women for a long time.
This is what the Barbie movie promotes, turning men into boy toys Literally, you've been objectified for like all of 5 minutes. I think you should just calm down, okay? Women have been dealing with it for centuries.
And because of that, this time I agree that some angry men have no reason to whine.
There is a spirit that if you take your daughters or your granddaughters to watch this movie, you are turning them into the lesbians.
What the hell are you talking about?
It's just dumb. It's only a glimpse into a situation. It's satirical and it's not anti-man. And with that, we come to the third part.
Maybe fuck yourself.
The latest example in this discussion comes once again from a Disney live-action remake.
Disney, tell us about the live-action Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. Oh, I didn't realise I was dealing with a bigot. Who are you yelling at? You! We don't use the D word anymore. Disney?
I don't like them in general. I know many people have said it before, but just let me say it again. No remake so far has been able to keep up or even be better than the original. Because at this point, they're basically known for being... In The Lion King, all the magic was lost in the dead eyes of the animals, because no shit, Sherlock, animals aren't as overly expressive as animated characters. In Beauty and the Beast, they really had to hammer it in how different Belle is, even though she already was in the original. But this time, she not only reads books, no, now she also invented the washing machine, or something like that. And in Mulan, they just flushed the whole story down the toilet.
Dishonor! Dishonor on your whole family! Make a note of this. Dishonor on you! Dishonor on your cow!
But still they make a shit ton of money. I also and mainly don't like these remakes because they give Disney a chance to seem diverse. I mean, I don't have a problem with it that Ariel now looks like this. I actually do have a problem that her friends now look like that. Because... But what I mean is, Disney isn't diverse or feminist for the right reason. They don't do it because it's decent or it's just the right thing. They just want money and free advertising. And how do you get that? By getting people to talk about it. And when do people talk about stuff? When they're mad about it.
I am too smart. I am too smart. S-M-R-T. I mean S-M-A-R-T.
The newest example in this wonderful thing comes in the form of Snow White, who no longer needs a prince.
I just mean that it's no longer 1937.
Right.
And we absolutely wrote a Snow White that is
not going to be saved by the prince.
She's not going to be saved by the prince, and she's not going to be dreaming about true love. She's dreaming about becoming the leader she knows she can be.
Wait, what?
She's not going to be dreaming about true love.
First of all, this isn't the first movie where Snow White is a badass. But even more so, when did Snow White ever have anything to do with love or romance? I mean, think about it. Think about this story. Her stepmother killed her. A prince falls in love with her supposed corpse, kisses it, and kind of accidentally brings her back to life. And without a word, he swoops her up and gets her to his castle to get married. Happy end. I'm not mad about Snow White for some reason or other mutates into a girl boss. Because honestly, I always thought she's an idiot with no personality. And no shit, Sherlock, she's a 14-year-old girl. Which makes this whole story even more weird. So yeah, Snow White gets a brain. Good. But did you have to kick out the prince for this? I mean, wasn't it possible to also modernize him and maybe make their relationship a little bit healthier? Maybe they could have even talked before they got married.
You can't marry a man you just met.
Thank you!
That would at least have been a good role model for girls and boys who maybe as adults wouldn't trample on each other. So if you're still hanging around, thank you. And what I actually wanted to say is, I always thought equality meant being treated equally good, not equally bad. But that's just my thoughts. What are yours?